Alright guys, so let me explain these vocabulary words to you before we continue to read, okay? So the first one is butter. This is an ingredient and we use it to bake things like cake, pies, right, chocolate, to make these kinds of things. Also, many people put butter on their bread, so like on a sandwich, right, so on bread or on a sandwich, and also on toast. If you don't know what toast is heated up bread and it becomes a little bit hard, okay? So it's like hard bread. I'm sure you guys have heard egg and toast before, okay? So yeah, butter. Sometimes you guys see butter it's normally very yellow. And another cool word people use for butter is margarine. Okay, next one is a recipe. So a recipe, these are the steps to follow when you want to cook or bake something. Okay, so what they're saying over here, so you follow the steps. If you want to make a sandwich, you need bread, you need to add butter, you need to add tomato, you need to add perhaps meat, and then cut the bread, and then that is how you make bread. That's the recipe to follow, okay? So the steps to follow when you want to cook. Next one is a spoon, which I really don't need to explain to you guys, but as you guys can see over there, it's kind of a spoon. It's not great, but maybe that makes it better. I don't know. Anyway, that's my attempt to make a spoon. You obviously use a spoon to eat food, all right, such as soup. But also, in this lesson, they are going to teach you that a spoon is a way to measure something. To measure something, so measure means to count how much of something there is. All right, so they use it to count. For example, if we are making a cake, I need 2 spoons of oil, okay, or I need 2 spoons of butter, right? If you guys remember us making pancakes last winter camp, right, we used 2 spoons of sugar and we used 2 spoons of something to add to make the pancakes, okay? So yeah, so you eat food with a spoon, and you can also measure how many of something, okay, to count how many. All right, flour. Okay, so this is very, very soft. We use it to make cake. It normally comes in a white color, and it's also in the form of a powder. Okay, so you can add it to your food and then you mix the flour. Remember, this word means not to forget something. Not to forget something. So what is something that you will never forget? Maybe your own name. Maybe you won't forget your mom or your dad's name. Maybe you will not forget your birthday. Or you won't forget Christmas Day or Halloween Day, all right? Something that you know, something that you like, you need to remember, okay? Then we have sugar, which is sweet, all right, sugar, candy, and used as ingredient as well. It's an ingredient to make something. To make something sweet. Alright, so think of different times that you will use your sugar. Perhaps in your tea you add some sugar. Excuse me. Maybe if some people drink coffee, they add some sugar to their coffee, right? Alright, so these are the words that we are going to be reading and learning about in our Unit 16 lesson today called Number Cakes. So please find time to write this down and use this information, boys and girls, to please answer the questions on page 68. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, you guys can do that now. I'm going to erase this and we are going to practice reading the story. Alright, so guys, I hope that you are finished with this. I'm not going to give you the answers now. First, I'm going to read the story with you. Okay, so let's go to the top of the page and we're going to talk about number cakes. Alright, so as you guys can see in your books, alright, I want you to please follow. On top it says number cakes, so that is the name of the story. And let's read and see what this is all about. So, old cookbooks show us when different foods were first made. Okay, so let's read with me. Old cookbooks show us when different foods were first made. This is how we know that the first cupcakes were made around 1800. Okay, so around about this time. Some cookbooks called these first cupcakes number cakes. Let's read it again. So some cookbooks called these first cupcakes number cakes. The name came from the easy way to remember the recipe. So the name came from the easy way to remember the recipe. A person just needed to remember the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 1 to make these cupcakes. Okay, so let's read that again. A person just needed to remember the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 1 to make these cupcakes. What do the numbers mean in this recipe? Let's go. What do the numbers mean in this recipe? Excuse me. Pardon. First, the numbers in this recipe mean use 1 cup of butter and 2 cups of sugar. Right, let's read. First, the numbers in this recipe mean use 1 cup of butter and 2 cups of sugar. Right? Then put in 3 cups of flour and 4 eggs. Try again. So, then put in 3 cups of flour and 4 eggs. Okay, here we go down. Last, add 1 cup of milk and 1 spoon of baking soda. So let's read again. So last, add 1 cup of milk and 1 spoon of baking soda. This was one of the first and easiest cupcake recipes. Alright, so this was one of the first and easiest cupcake recipes. Alright, boys and girls, so that's our story over there about the number cakes. So before I go and explain the words to you guys again and explain the sentences, I want you to think about why they call this number cakes. So what do they say about the numbers in this story? Okay, so they say the numbers are easy to remember. If you remember it, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, no, 1, 2, 3. Uh-oh, I don't remember it, so I have to check. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 1. So it is pretty easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1. And if you can remember those numbers, then you'll be able to remember how to make the cupcakes. So that's why they call it number cakes. Anyway, what I want us to do now is I'm going to explain some of the sentences to you, and after that we will go ahead and answer the questions. Okay, let's move on, everybody. So it goes, old cookbooks show us when different foods were first made. So a cookbook, this is a book with many recipes. Alright, so a cookbook has many recipes. This is how we know that the first cupcakes were made around 1800. Alright, so 1800, they are not saying that it was made in the year 1800. They don't know which year it is exactly. So they say around. Okay, so up like 1800, maybe a little later or a little bit earlier, or maybe between 1800 to 1899. So between these years. Okay, so around 1800. Alright, so that's what they were saying, around those years. Some cookbooks called these first cupcakes number cakes. The name came from the easy way to remember the recipe. So all you need to do is to remember 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 1. So just remember that, and then you know the recipe. A person just needed to remember the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 1 to make these cupcakes. Right? So remember, cupcakes. What do the numbers mean in this recipe? Alright, so remember the numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 1. So now we're going to see what those numbers mean again. First, the numbers in this recipe mean use 1 cup of butter. Alright, so the first one is butter. So that's the first number 1. And 2 cups of sugar. Alright, so sugar would be for number 2. Then put in 3 cups of flour. So step number 3, the flour, and 4 eggs. So eggs number 4. Last, add, can we please go down? So the last one would be, the next number is 1 again. So last, add 1 cup of milk. So that's the next one, and 1 spoon of baking soda. So baking soda is the very last step that you need to remember. Okay, and this was one of the first and easiest cupcake recipes. Alright, so that's why they call it the number cakes. You follow the numbers and you remember the ingredients, then you'll be able to make these in the kitchen. Okay, so those are number cakes, and it looks very delicious, right? And also very, very easy to make. All right, so I hope that this helps you to understand the story a little bit better, everyone. What we're going to do now is give you a chance to answer the questions in your books. So please answer page 68, 69, 70, and also 71. Okay? I want you guys to please do that now. And then I'm going to give you the answers in a few seconds. So please pause the video, finish your work, and then follow the video, watch again when you are ready with all your answers. Okie dokie. So, so let's get started. Okay, so the first one is butter. Okay, so butter soft, it goes on bread, so it is an ingredient made from milk that is spread on food or used in cooking. First one. Number 2, recipe. A set of instructions for making food. So they tell you what to do to make food. Spoon. A white or brown crystal used to make food sweet. No. To something we use to eat, right? So we use it to eat our foods. Okay? Then we have, the next one is flour. So flour is a powder made from grain that is used for making bread and cakes. Next we have remember. To have or keep something in your mind, all right? To think about something. And sugar is sweet, all right? To make food sweet, all right? I'm sure that all of you got this one right, so good job, everyone. Let's move on to the next page, and we'll answer over here at the bottom the vocab skills and also the reading skills, yeah? All right, so let's do vocabulary skills first. What does a round mean in the story? So I showed you guys earlier that they said around 1800, right? So they're not sure which year it is or which time they made it, all right? So it could mean over here about the time of. So they're not sure, so they say it's around about that time, okay? So that should be A, okay? It doesn't mean near the place because 1800 is not a place, and it's not in the year because we don't know the exact year, okay? All right, so it's about the time of the 1800s. Number 2, what does the name refer to in reading books? Okay, oh sorry, in the reading. What does the name refer to in the reading? So can we just go to the top? I'm not sure which one that is. Need to find the word the name. All right, so it says the name came from the easy way to remember the recipe. So some cookbooks called these first cupcakes number cakes. The name number cakes came from the easy way to remember the recipe. Can we go down, please? All right. So the name refers to, so what does the name refer to in the reading? The name, it refers to, that's okay. It refers to number cakes, okay? Let's go to the reading skills on the next page, okay? All right, then we have to make cupcakes. What are the ingredients to put in first? Underline the words in the passage, okay? So what are the ingredients, okay? They don't want to know what the step is. They want to know what food do we use first when we make cupcakes. So we have to look at the steps. So we'll go back there to the top. Remember to only underline one sentence. All right. So, we're talking about ingredients there. Okay. So the first thing, what do the numbers mean in this recipe? First, the numbers in this recipe mean use 1 cup of butter and 2 cups of sugar. So for this answer, you should be underlining this sentence here. So we're going to underline the whole sentence. First, the numbers in the recipe mean use 1 cup of butter and 2 cups of sugar. Okay? So, yeah, that was the first one. So that's number 1. Let's go to number 2. What are the ingredients to add last? So what is the last thing that you need to add? So let's have a look at the page again. Let's try and find number 2. Alright, so we're going to try and find, so let me just erase this. And now we have to see what are the two ingredients that we add last. So we look for the word last and we say last add 1 cup of milk and 1 spoon of baking soda. So that is number 2. Alright, I hope you guys got your answers right. Alright, good job everyone. Let's move on to the next 2 pages where we answer the rest of the questions. Okay. Alright, so we'll have a look. We're right here. So number 1. Remember, boys and girls, if you did not do it yet, please do it now, and then I'm going to give the answers, okay? Choose the right answer, A, B, C, or D. Number 1, what is the reading mainly about? Is it about an old number? Is it about how to write a cookbook? Is it about making old cupcakes? Or is it about the first cupcake recipe? And of course, the answer is about the first cupcake recipe. Number 2, what do the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 1 mean? It means how long to bake the cupcakes. Is it how many cupcakes to make? How much of each ingredient, or the steps of making cupcakes? So I was looking at this answer and I was like, it could be C, could be D, but I think that the best one to use over here, the best one to use on how to remember is, I think, how much of each ingredient, okay? So the reason why I didn't choose this is because it doesn't just show you the steps to make it, but they tell you how much to use in each step. So that is why I think that this one is the best answer. Remember, it says 1 of the thing, 2 of the next, 3 of the next, and 4 of the next one. And then 1 of and 1 of. So that is how much of each ingredient. Number 3, everybody. Number 3, which is not true? So which one is false? Which one is wrong? So which is not true according to the reading? So which one is wrong? A, number cakes were made a long time ago. So remember, around 1800. So yes, definitely, that is a long time ago. So A is correct. All right. B, old cookbooks had the number cake recipe in them. Yes, that is true. Right? People didn't use baking soda in the 1800s. I don't know. And number 4, the old cupcake recipe is easy to remember. Is it easy? Of course it is. And of course the answer is C. Okay, people didn't use baking soda in the 1800s. That is wrong, because in the first cookbook they said that the last step is to add baking soda. Okay, So yeah, they definitely had baking soda in the 1800s. All right, thank you. Let's move down and use your vocabulary words to finish the sentences. All right. So complete the chart with the words in the box. Number 1. The first name of something is called number cakes. So number cakes, it's the name of what we call today, we call it cupcakes. Okay? So finished. Number 2. Take 1 cup of and 2 cups of sugar. So this is step number 1 and step number 2. So take 1 cup of, right, I need to actually look in my book, I'm not sure. So 1 cup of butter and 2 cups of sugar. So 1 cup of butter and 2 cups of sugar. Number 3, add cups of flour and 4 eggs. So step 1, step 2, then that might be step 3 over there. So let's just make sure. Very good. So 1, 2, and then 3. Add 3. Alright, so butter is finished and 3 cups of flour and 4 eggs. And the last thing, put in 1 cup of milk and 1 spoon of, what word did we not use? Baking soda. Okay. Alright, boys and girls, I'm pretty sure you guys are also finished with this over here. So, good job. Okay. Then, the last part is just to use these vocabulary words again and use them in different sentences. Okay, so you need to read the sentence over here and then you need to use it. Use the words, excuse me. Okay, so 6 sentences, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 words. So you need to use each word. Alright, let's go through this. Teresa likes to spread something on her toast. So toast, hard bread. What can I put on my bread? I can put some butter. Butter on toast. Number 2. There are good on this cooking blog. So a blog, a cooking blog, this is something that could be on YouTube. Okay, so it's like on YouTube and it teaches you to do something. And because it's cooking, alright, so it teaches you how to cook. So they tell you there are good what on this cooking blog? There are good recipes, right? They teach you how to cook. So back in the 1800s, they didn't have no YouTube, right? So what they used back then was books, right? But today we use the internet and we use computers to do our reading, okay? So yeah. Number 3. My grandmother puts something in her tea because she likes it sweet. Right? Easy one. Put sugar in tea. 4. I need to buy a big bag of to make bread. So what do I use to make bread? Flour. Number 5. Do you what the teacher said this morning? I forgot. I forgot means I don't remember. So do you remember? Okay? And 6. Jimmy used a to eat curry and rice. So we used a